Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I hope everything's okay in your life. In this video you will find an updated version of series I prepared in the previous years. You're in luck for listening to the explanation because I felt the need to quickly discuss the content of the video. Each video will feature an interview with a class master about either the Succession or Awakening versions of a class. All videos, including the older ones, will be available in the playlist you see on the screen. You can find the link of the playlist in the pinned comment section. The purpose of this video series is to help you understand the basic role of the class within the game. I must clarify that it is not a deeply detailed guide. You will watch an interview in a conversational style aimed at answering the fundamental questions of those interested in playing a class. The class masters featured are experienced players who have dedicated thousands of hours to their class and to the Black Desert Online. You may recognize some and not the others, but unfamiliarity does not make them bad players. All the class masters mentioned have proven themselves in Black Desert Online world. Please be respectful when sharing your thoughts. Enjoy watching. Hello guys, welcome. Today's guest is Rodon for Succession Warrior. Welcome Rodon, how are you?
Hello, I'm really fine. How about you?
I'm really happy to have you here right now. Without further ado, let's start our interview. May you please introduce yourself? Who are you? Where are you from? Which server are you playing at?
Sure. First of all, sorry for my bad English. My name is Bartek. I'm living in Poland and I'm playing on EU server. I'm creating YouTube videos that shows how Succession Warrior performs at certain spots. I was also streaming at some point, but because of some health issues, I had to stop it. I will be trying to stream soon again, but it really depends on how my recovery will keep on going.
So, how did you find out of BDO and what caught your interest to stay in BDO?
Before BDO, I was playing Wildstar with my friends, but since game was dying, we were looking for new titles. One of friends told me about BDO, so we tried it out. I'm playing this game since release. Things that kept me playing this game are combat system, no trading between players, content that allows me to play whenever I want, progress that seems to be endless back then, very immersive open world PvP, which is dead right now, but still game got many things that will keep me playing.
Thank you. Have you ever taken a break from playing BDO? If so, what motivated you to come back?
Yes, there was few long breaks for me. I can't really remember what was all the reasons, but my last break happened because I had some other interesting game to play, and I was a bit annoyed by few things that was happening at BDO. I wasn't playing for about 1 year or maybe a bit longer, but one of my friends called me on Discord and told me that he gathered some other friends to BDO, and he wanted me to play as well so I can train them, so I can tell them about the game. Then I checked what was happening at the game at this moment, and I found out about the nerfs to the camouflage and little changes to the resistance system. Also, they announced the class reboot. That was enough reasons to come back. Now I'm really glad that I came back.
How long have you been playing the class you're currently playing, the Succession Warrior? Have you tried any other classes than Warrior?
Yes, I'm playing Warrior since beginning from the game release. This is the class I'm playing at every single game. I just love the archetype and I never get bored of this. But it doesn't mean I'm not testing any other classes. Actually, I played the vast majority of them just to be aware how they works. It's always good to know how the class works, to know your matchup. Every single time new class is released, be sure that I'm going to test it a bit. Also, I have high hopes for the new incoming class.
Okay, so what sets the class you're playing apart from the other classes? Why Succession Warrior is special for you?
I will start from the point is more important to me. First of all, aesthetics, full armored class that wield melee weapons. I am medieval freak after all. Especially Awakening Warrior gave me feeling that like my attacks are really heavy and brutal. I also like how Warrior is oppressive for other classes. I understand how annoying it is to deal with good warriors, but that's a part of being oppressive. What makes the class apart from other classes, I think, is possibility to freestyle a bit. I hate idea when your classes need to be played by schematics, but warrior was never like that. Also, since our movement is very risky because it's lack of the protections, then playing around good positioning is way more important than just playing around cooldowns and rotating protections. That's why I'm having way more fun and I'm taking a lot more satisfaction just by doing double or triple kills as warrior than doing 8-man bombs as of some other class.
Thank you. What is your current gear score? Do you rush up gear progress or you just take it easy type of player?
Right now I'm hard capped. That means I'm around 760 gear score. I have a lot of swaps for other builds like full accuracy, full AP, full DR. I'm still grinding and I'm looking for more silver. I'm preparing myself for future updates and I'm going to grind hard for new rings, new weapons and everything that will come to the game. I hope there will be so much new items to get, so I will spend some another years in BDO.
Hopefully. Is your class newbie friendly? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate its difficulty? If you want, you can separate Succession and Awaken and you can compare them.
It used to be hard class to begin with. After reboot, this class became to be easy to start with. Everything flows, feels good, sustain and tankiness helps a lot to begin with the game. In my honest opinion, Awakening is 4 and Succession is 3 for a newbie player for PvE, but that's if you want to be an average guy. If you would really like to highly perform at PvE with Warrior, then it's going to take some time and practice. As Awakening, there is a lot of cancels that will make your single target damage higher. It will cost you an effort to grind properly with that one. Succession is more about proper positioning, watching your cooldowns, using proper interaction between skills to master. So for high performance PvE, I would say that Awakening is strong 7 and Succession is 5 in terms of difficulty, of course. In terms of PvP, it's whole another story. Class rely on forward guards and a lot of unprotected movements. A lot of new players are switching from Warrior pretty fast after experiencing PvP, and because they're getting so much CCs from nowhere. So for PvP, it would be 8 for Awakening and 6 for Succession. But I want to remind that class is really hard to master. So in long term, you will need to spend a lot of time and practice for both Succession and Awakening. Awakening is much harder mechanical wise, so be aware.
Thank you. So we talked about general aspects of your class. Let's talk about PV in detail. Let's dig in a little bit more. We are curious about your thoughts on the PV situation of Succession Warrior. Could you provide us with detailed information separately? How is Succession Warrior at early, mid, and end game?
And this is the area I really feel confident. I would start from the Succession. This class is insanely good at early and mid game. It's comparable to the best classes at the game at this point. Very good movement, AoE, decent damage. That's all you need for those stages, and that's all that Succession Warrior have. Then we have spammable skill that is called Heavy Strike. It's still doing decent damage even on cooldown with decent AoE. With our movement, mixed with Solar Flare, we can move from pack to pack in instant. For example, Elvia Serendia, those mobs are very squishy as soon you will hit a pickup. With this fast movement and good AoE, you basically never stops to hit mobs, and this is the reason why Succession Warrior is such a good choice for Orc Camp, for example. Those spots are great until you can kill mobs with few skills. From the very beginning, you will be able to pull great amount of trash per hour, but as soon as mobs are getting tankier, we are not that much shiny, and this is why we are not fantastic at the end game. Still pretty nice. Still, it's very good class, of course. End game stage is the point where your damage and cooldowns are more important than ever. There's quite a lot of classes that is doing more damage than a warrior. Still, we have spots at the end game that we can grind almost as good at the best classes. For example, Tornwood Forest, Deki, of course. Just because mobs are squishy and AoE is very important there, but at spots that requires pure damage, and then we're simply average class there. For example, Darkseekers. For me, it's fine. With Succession Warrior seems to be still pretty decent class for PvE.
Thank you. Let's talk about a bit PvP. We are curious about your thoughts on the PvP situation of the class you are playing. Could you provide us with a detailed information separately for 1v1, 1vx, AOS, Guild League, Node, Siege, War, and some other things, from smallest scale to the biggest scale of the game?
Both Succession and Awakening is at the similar spots, in my honest opinion. Both are great duelists, really good classes for AOS, but as more people are involved in PvP, then Warrior is worse. For now, it's just character that is good for small scale. For 1v1, we have strong matchups for majority of classes, but there is a few of them that makes us suffer. Succession is more contrast to one. For Succession, there is few matchups that are basically one-sided. You can't lose as long you will hold your protections, but those bad matchups are even worse. It's still pretty similar. For 1vx, I feel like Awakening is more viable since we have a bit better iframe. Fast CC's class is a bit more reactive. Succession is a bit more predictable, and you will have less responses to enemy actions, but you will be tankier and you have more safe and protected CCs. Still, it's not a really great class for such fights since movement for both versions are not really protected if we will consider forward guard movement as opening. For AOS, it's really decent option, both of specs. We can act as a rat, we can act as a protection for our team, we can do quite good damage in combo if no one will interrupt us. We have good grab and fast movement. We are always should be ready to pick our target. A very flexible class for this content and quite satisfying if you will play it properly, but not really able to pull high amount of damage if our enemy knows how to play. It's more about waiting for good moment class than spamming damage all the time and praying for CC. You should consider your matchup, take a look into your party composition and play safe until you will see opportunities to attack. Also, I don't think that Warrior can be considered as carry class. In my honest opinion, I will define this class more into some kind of protector. 5v5, it's still very good, only worse for a tiny bit. Same for AOS, just need to play more careful, and so on, so on. As I said at the beginning, as more people are involved, we are getting worse. So guild leagues are still fine, but there is a lot of people now, so need to be extremely aware. In equal fights, it's hard to combo anyone because it's taking too long for us to make a proper combo. It's easier to interrupt us with such high density of people around. Also, playing as a rearguard is important job for warriors. Make sure that your archers and ranger are safe, and you will be important for your team even without high damage and kills. But a lot of things depends of your team, of course. And the same issue is going for Node War, Sieges, and War of Roses. We cannot really move around with our movement. We cannot really combo anyone. We need to rely on our team even more. I feel like we are quite a bad class at Node Wars right now, even if played properly. And I think we are very bad for Sieges. I can barely see any warriors at Sieges nowadays. I feel like I'm griefing my guild at this moment playing this class at Sieges. Also, I'm not really sure about War of Roses because I had no opportunity to play it yet.
Thank you. Is there a significant strong aspect of the class you're playing, or the weakness? I mean, what is the strongest part? What is the weakness part for you?
There is a quite big things for a warrior. Actually, reasons why so many players hate warriors, I think. Our biggest and strongest aspects are Q block, fast movement, and grab. Unexperienced players see those aspects are as annoying to deal with and seems to be unbalanced for vast majority of new players. I think so. We might be really fast and hard to catch, but those movements are actually unprotected or protected just by forward guards. In actual meta, there is a ton of classes who can bypass forward guards just by tapping one key button or two key buttons. Of course, it's hard to counter that weakness at 1v1. You need to be experienced to react fast enough you need to understand how warrior actually moves. But from warrior perspective, we cannot really move if there is too many people around. We cannot disengage from big fights just because of it. Cannot change our position so easily. Sometimes we will sit like a duck to our Q block and wait for the death if there is too many people around, and that just comes from no proper protections on our movement.
Okay. Are there any classes that clearly dominates the class you're playing? In other words, which classes that you can clearly counter and which classes can counter your class?
From my own perspective, there might be a few of them that clearly just counter our toolkit. First one that comes to my mind is Awakening Hashashin, just because how many skills can easily bypass forward guards in instant, and turned grabs, I mean, he has a lot of block jumps that can be used very fast. If you will move, you will be bypassed by Hash Toolkit. If you will stay in place, you will be grabbed. You will need to be extremely experienced to play against this class. It doesn't mean you cannot win this fight. Of course you can, but it's insanely hard. As well, Awakening Ranger is insane in 1v1, and it's very hard matchup for us, but not only for us. Also Tamers. It's not like we cannot win this fight as well, but man, little girl with doggo is way more oppressive than big guy with big sword. We need to play so carefully around Ranger and Tamer, like walking on the minefield. On another hand, we have a lot of classes we can counter. Actually, every single class that cannot bypass our forward guards, have no grab, not moving a lot, and have no possibility to iframe around with huge damage. Anybody thinks that warriors are counter to Sork, then it's false, in my opinion. It's not that class. First of all, on the list, surely there will be Awakening, Wizard, and Witch. It's hard to fail any grab on them. They're looking at animations and they are like sitting duck for us. We can just play with them. This is not really fair matchup. I would say also that Succession Ranger and Archer have no absolutely they have no chance in a 1v1 situation unless we are making a lot of mistakes or getting out of our protections. But let's consider that both players are very good and they're not making basic mistakes. For Succession Warrior, those matchups are even easier. Hash have only block jump, and that will allow him to win against Warrior, but experienced Warrior should know how to move and react to never get caught by that. So Hash is in trouble as well. And Succession Sage 2, as long you know how to track him under Chain Reef, it's really hard for those classes to play against Warriors. I think this is our easiest counters to play.
So overall, we talked many things about your class. Can we get a brief summary of the good and bad things in your class can afford to get an average player? Let's say that I want to reroll to Succession Warrior, and what is expecting me?
I think of the most warriors just enjoys his aesthetics. I think this is part. This is also a big part for me. But if you will want to feel satisfaction, even from triple kills, just being able to juggle people around, being kind of tanky. On other hand, you will require to spend a lot of time practice. At start, you will take a lot of CCs just from nowhere, and if you will have issues with tunneling vision, then you will be frustrated playing this class. At least this is PvP problems. For PvE, it's very chill class. It's really hard to die even at hard spot. Even the Ash Forest Dekia is pretty easy to deal with.
So we talked about Succession Warrior, and I think all of those informations are enough. Let's talk about BDO itself. What are your thoughts on BDO current situation from past until now?
It's hard to tell right now. We don't know exactly what is coming in close future. It's giving me a lot of thoughts, but to this point, BDO was in decent place. I like how many updates we have recently, how many changes are going on. I'm not really happy with current balance in PvP and PvE. We don't even know when the next balance updates will come, but all of those simplification stuff, recent UI changes, life skill conversion, enhancing PT system, a new Magnus thing. This is things that we needed. I think we needed it for years. I know that takes time, and that why there is no new content right now, no balance patches, and they preparing something big. But recent few years were really great in my honest opinion. Now I feel like I'm only waiting, but as long as they will put something interesting, then I'm fine. It looks like they're preparing game for something, like creating new stuff, and hopefully I will not be disappointed.
I mean, you talked about the PvP and PvE balance. In the game right now, if you ask me, overall, yes, we have some meta classes in PvP, but if you just remove them, overall, when you check all classes, they have some strong aspects in their kit. Some of them good in 1v1, some of them good at 1v8, some of them good at Siege and Node, I mean large scale, some of them is good at Guild League or AOS or something. But if we just remove the broken classes, few brokens, Awakened Dracana is broken, Awakened Sage is broken, there are a few other classes too, they're clearly way stronger than the other classes. Just remove them. PvP seems like balanced right now if we just nerf them a little bit. You know what I understand? What I don't understand? Why we have in PvE dead classes. We have dead classes right now. Like literally they are dead. I understand. I played this game like more than 6 years and I'm creating contents. I'm talking with sometimes GMs and CMs. And I totally understand that they are creating some kind of meta intentionally or unintentionally. I think that is intentionally because they want to maybe take money from the wallets of the meta players. I totally understand, but I cannot understand why we have totally dead classes in PvE. I cannot understand that part. Just I wanted to share that.
Yes, I totally agree with that. There is some classes that I would like to play as well for PvE content. Some of them just seems to be so dead. Also, I feel like some people are just saying this class is so strong, or this and that, but people just forget about those classes that are completely dead. They don't see them at any point of the game, like they never existed. So right, I would like to see other classes as well in every content.
So what do you think that PA company does well and what it does bad about the updates? Let's say that if you were in charge, what would you like to add or remove to game today? One thing for add, one thing for remove.
Actually, I think that PA is doing really well with updates. I'm not really happy with recent open world PvP changes, but overall they really good at fixing problems. I think so. But there is at least maybe two things that I will change. First of all, I will add new alchemy stone system, because this is going from very beginning of this game, and that's hard to understand for me why it's taking so long to change it. I hope they remember about this system, and this is so outdated and taking time to it's not even cost that much. It's just taking too much time for people to create a splendid alchemy stone or even shining one. It seems to be unrealistic for me right now. So I hope they remember about this system and they preparing something, hopefully. And the thing that I will remove is, maybe it might be a bit controversial, but I think it's also very popular subject right now. It's resistance system. I can't understand why RNG even exists in competitive PvP. If we need RNG to defend ourselves from some mechanics, it means that something is made poorly. I would like to see resistance removal and balance game a bit around this change, so players that loves resistance will would not feel disappointed.
I mean, they can keep the resistance, in my opinion, but they have to remove that 80% cap, if you ask me, and they have to just reduce it like maybe 50 or 60 or something, so people cannot abuse that resist thing, people cannot abuse that RNG thing. You can catch anyone, but your second CC as a KD, if it does not work, your opponent will take the advantage and maybe you will die, but you catch them first, you played well, but you lost because of RNG. Is this some kind of reflection of the life itself? Maybe sometimes my Korean friends Hugh Hotbar saying that, guys, don't worry about it, BDO. BDO is actually reflecting life itself. It is not, equal, not for everyone. Sometimes it is bad, sometimes it is easy, it is life itself, and sometimes they are keeping some like RNG dependent things like resistance. Maybe it is intentional, I don't know.
Maybe I don't really think. I think that it should be awarded for good actions. I mean, I'm fine with getting immune. Resistance after you will get CC. So there will be no CC or something. But if you need to leave protection in to give some CC, then other guy will just simply resist the CC, and he will CC you. It doesn't really fair to me. Of course, it's like a life. You said life isn't really fair, but I think this is the game. I think this is the place you should be rewarded for good decisions. And yeah, I will be fine if the resistance will be there still in terms of expanding the CCs, right? So if you will get knocked down, I mean that the first CC for me it always should be 100% success. If you will get someone getting out from protections, it's for me it should be just guaranteed CC. But second or third one, it's fine for me to keep resistances. But the first one, I think it's very important that it should be unresistible.
I get it. So what advice would you like to give to newbies, returnees, and the other players in the game?
This game is not a sprint. Take your time, play the game with your own pace. If you're not enjoying PvE, then don't do it. Don't burn yourself by doing stuff you don't like. You don't have to life skill, you don't have to grind, you don't have to PvP if you don't like. The game is sandbox and you can do whatever you like to do. If you enjoy the game, just gathering knowledge or something, then do it. If you like your class that is not efficient, it's still okay. Just play it because you like. Don't forget that you came to this game to enjoy your time.
Thank you so much. We are reaching the end of the interview. Is there anything else you would like to add before we finish?
Actually, yes. I would like to say thank you for whole community and people who make this game even more interesting. Big thank you for my Discord buddies who kept contact with me all the time when I had issues with my health. It's even better to come back to the game right now. Also, thank you, Quendia, for having me. And I think that's it.
Thank you so much and hope you get well soon. We want to see Rodon on Twitch while you're streaming. I want to watch what you're doing in a Succession Warrior. Maybe I can copy pasta what you're doing and I can learn from you. Also, I have to just promote your Twitch channel. He has a Twitch channel. He's not streaming right now, but off record, he said that he will start streaming in a few months when he recovers. And also, he has a YouTube channel. Whenever someone asks me in Twitch, hey, what do you think about Succession Warrior? Do you have any guide about it? I'm just directly send them to the Rodon's YouTube channel. Now I'm sending you guys to the Rodon's YouTube channel and Twitch channel. You can check them. And thank you so much, Rodon.
Thank you very much.
Alright guys, do not forget, BDO is just a game. Have a nice game.